Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making pressure cooker Texas beef and noodles. Alright, I'm starting out on my pressure cooker. I would set on saute and it's hot. And if you have a pressure cooker that doesn't have saute, don't panic. Just put on pressure cooker. When it comes up to heat, the pressure cooker to be hot enough to saute in. Now I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil in here. We're going to saute some vegetables. I have about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now I have roughly about a half cup of diced up onion and a half cup of diced up baby carrots. We're going to get them in here and we're going to saute them for a few minutes until they start to soften up. Now that my carrots and onions sauteed for a few minutes and they're starting to soften up, I have an 8-ounce container of sliced mushrooms. And guys, Eric's going to give me a hard time about this, but this dish just isn't the same without mushrooms, so we're going to put them in. I'm going to get these in here. I'm going to saute these for a few minutes. And the reason I'm adding the mushrooms in a little bit later is because they're more delicate than the onions and the carrots, and they won't hold up as well if you do everything all at once. So I'm going to allow this to saute. I'm going to add just a hair more oil in there, maybe a tablespoon. Now, a lot of my vegetables are done sauteing. I have roughly a 2-pound chuck roaster I cut into small chunks. And if you can do that rather than buying it pre-cut, it's cheaper for you that way. I wiped out the pressure cooker with some clean paper towel. I'm going to add in some more olive oil. Probably about 3 tablespoons. And I'm going to fry up my chuck roast. Saute it up, but I'm going to do it in batches. I'm going to do it in about 3 batches. If you throw this all in at once, it's going to more so steam than it is going to saute and fry. And I'm going to season this with some salt and pepper as it browns up. Alright, now that all of my beef is browned up and I returned it back in the pressure cooker, I'm going to add in 4 cups of beef broth. We'll be adding more beef broth in than we add to pasta, but we're not doing that right now. And I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of granulated garlic. And I'm just eyeballing this. I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. My great nephew and his buddies out playing in the yard, and the dogs next door are going crazy. Sorry about that. 2 teaspoons of Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. And that looks like that if you're wondering how it looks. Now I'm going to give this a stir. I'm going to set this to pressure cook for 15 minutes. Let me get my lid on here. Then after the 15 minutes, I'll do a quick release of the pressure. Alright, now that my 15 minutes are up and I did that quick release of the pressure, I'm going to add in 2 10.5-ounce cans of cream of mushroom soup. Alright. I'm going to give that a stir to blend that in. Alright, now I'm going to add in another 2 cups of beef broth. You're probably wondering why I didn't add it all in at once. Well, this here, by adding it in later, it speeds up the cooking time of the beef tips, because the more liquid you have in there, the longer it takes to come under pressure, so that's a little tip to speed it up. I'm going to get those vegetables back in there that we sauteed in the beginning of the video. And I have a 12-ounce package of bow tie pasta. We're going to get that in there. And my cream of mushroom soup isn't completely blended, but as this pressure cooks, that will melt down and blend in. Now I'm going to get my lid back on here, and I'm going to set this to pressure cook for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, we'll do a quick release of the pressure. Alright guys, my time is up. Now I have a cornstarch slurry here I'm going to add in here. And if you want to skip this part, just let this sit for about a half hour and that'll thicken up. But we're going to go ahead and put that in. And that's about 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of water. And I turn this back on to saute. We're going to allow this saute just for a minute to tighten up. After this tightens up, let's go ahead and fix up a plate and see what we got. Alright guys, let me get in here and try this. I'm going to start with a piece of that beef first. Super tender, good beefy flavor. And a little tip when you make pot roast in a pressure cooker, if you're on a pinch for time, cut it in half or even 3 pieces. It shortens your cooking time. Try some of this pasta with that sauce. It's really good. You get the spiciness of the Creole Tony Chachere seasoning. You get that garlic, granulated garlic, Italian seasoning. Try some of these vegetables. I'm going to take a piece of mushroom here. Mushroom's tender. It's not mush. It kept its shape and its texture. That's really delicious, guys, and it wasn't hard at all. Alright, there you have it. Texas beef and noodles. Give it a try. Thanks for watching. And remember, love what you eat and eat what you love.